right, everybody, this is the review for homework 4. So homework 4 is about central tendency, specifically finding the mean, the median, and the mode of the following data set. So let's go ahead and do just that. I will hop us over to the whiteboard and we'll start with question 1. So for all of these, we're finding the mean, the median, and the mode of this data. So we have reported ages of when individuals achieve their highest level of education. So let's head over to the whiteboard, and the first thing we'll want to do is include the data for this. So the first data set. So what do we have? We have 32, we have 28, 24, we have 28, we have 28. Okay, 31, 35, 29, 26. Okay, and we have an n equal to how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to go ahead and put my n equals 9 here. I always like to have n around. This is a good habit to get into, not just for this particular set of problems, but for all of our work. We're always working with a sample, as is the nature of statistics. We're almost always, of course, if we're working with the population, maybe, but it's good to have our sample size around. So let's go ahead and calculate the mean here. So the mean is, all right, so to calculate the mean, or x bar, we're taking the sum of all of these values here, and we're dividing by n. So remember that this sigma value means to sum up all of the following values. When you see x, it's talking about whatever varied data we have in this case. This is the data we have, right? The set of values, the set of ages in this case. So we would go ahead and add 32 plus 28, all right, plus 24, and we would go on and include all of the values here. All right, then we're going to divide by 9. That's how many values we have. We're going to sum all 9 values and divide by 9. That's going to give us something like 261 all over 9, which gives us a mean of 29. Okay, easy enough. So there's our means, just the average. So let's go ahead and try for the median. So remember, we have a little calculation to find the position of the median. This does not find you the median, but it gives you the position in where we can look for the median. Okay, and so that's n plus 1, or 1 all the way to n is how I think about it, and then you're halving it, you're finding the middle position, so divide by 2. So 9 plus 1 over 2 equals 10, plus divided by 2 equals the 5th position, not 5. So I like to write position here to remind myself of what we're working with. So I'll go ahead and get a different color in here for contrast, and then what we want to do is put the data in order. So remember, a good way to do this is to treat this like we're making, say, a frequency table. So you can scan for our lowest value. Okay, our lowest value is 24. So 24 starts this, and do we have any 25s? No, we have a 26. Right, have any 27s? No, but we have 1, 2, 3, 28s. Right, so 28, 28, 28. And then kind of on this way we have 1, 29. We don't have a 30, but we do have a 31. Right, a 32 and a 35. Or it's a little crunched here, but that's okay. So we have all the data in order, and now we're looking for the 5th position in this data set. So we got the first position, second, third, fourth, and 5th. Right, this here is our middle score. So our median is equal to 28. Okay, so we have a mean of 28, a median of 20, a mean of 29, a median of 28, and the mode. How we get the mode is just our most frequently occurring number. So if you go ahead and look at our ordered set here, we only have one recurring value, and that is 28. And we have 3 of them, so our mode is equal to 28. So pretty symmetrical distribution here. They're all almost the same. So those are our 3 measures of central tendency for this particular problem. So again, this is just number 1 on the homework. The city is so freaking noisy. Okay, let's go ahead and try for number 2. Let's take a look at it. So for number 2, we have anxiety scores, like all this noise is giving me, reported on a 1 through 6 scale. We have those listed off here. So let's go ahead and write those down and start working with them. So we have 6, 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 6. So write those down. Okay, and a 6. All right, so if we go ahead and start with the mean, x bar, right, let's get our in this case, is equal to 8, right? So x bar is going to be the sum of all of these values divided by the total number of values, which is n. So we'll go ahead and add all these values up. We get something like 32 divided by 8, right, for a mean of 4. Then you get our median, right, the median position. So we're going to start from 1 all the way to n plus 1, and then find the half position. So 9 over 2 equals position 4.5. Okay, not the median, but the position. Okay, so what we do is the first thing to do for the median is always put your values in order. Okay. And then we can label the position of each value. We have position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, for all of these here, I mean, we're looking for 4.5, right? Or the sort of middle position here, meaning that these two values represent our center. But remember, we have to do a sort of central tendency problem within a central tendency problem. And then what you would want to do here is get the average of these two scores, right? So we would do the mean formula again. So we would add these two scores together, divided by 2 because there's two scores, and then we get something that looks like this. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So our median is equal to 4. Okay? Median is equal to 4. And then our mode, lastly, our mode is just the most frequently occurring value. So if we take a look at our values here, we have 2 4s, but we have 3 6s. Okay, so 6 is the most frequently occurring value. Okay, wonderful. Look at us go. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the homework and take a look at number 3. So number 3, we have time and seconds to respond to a multiple choice statistics question, right? Then we have some decimals here and time reported in seconds. So let's go ahead and take a look at a new slide on the whiteboard. Let's hop over here. I'm gonna get some fresh space to work with. Let's get a fresh color too. How about that? So this is for number 3. So seconds to answer a question. We have 2.13 seconds, 6.01 seconds, 3.33 seconds, and then 5.78 seconds. We have a little end here of 4. So let's go ahead and grab the average. So obviously we sum up all of the values, all the x's, and divide by n. So 17.25 over 4 gives us an average of 4.31 seconds. Okay, for our mean. So then a median, okay, remember we're starting from 1 all the way to however many n are, n plus 1, and then we take the middle position by half, so 5 over 2 equals, and we're looking, remember this gives us the position 2.5, position 2.5. Okay, so if we go ahead and get this data in order, so we have 2.13, 3.33, 5.78, and 6.01. We're looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so we're going to be looking in between here. So these two scores are going to be part of this measure of central tendency. So what do? We average them. We get an average of those two scores, so we can find position 2.5. So let's go ahead and do that. Take these over 2. We get something like 9.11 over 2, which gives us a median 4.55. So our median is not position 2.5. Our median is the number 4.55 seconds. Okay. And then how about for the mode? Easy enough. There is no mode. All of these are equally occurring. So our safe bet for answering this is just saying that the mode is not applicable. right? That we don't have one. So remember that we cannot have a mode, or we can have multiple modes if we have a data set that includes more than one mode, if it's bimodal. So, all right, so let's move on to question 4. So let's go read about it on the assignment here. Okay, so we have a homework for, let's get us down to the bottom here. Okay, so number 4, we're talking about pain rating scales from 0 to 5. So let's go ahead and work this out. Let's get the data going here, and this is question number 4. Right, so we have 2, 2, 0, 5, 1, 4, 1, 3, 0, 0, 1, 4, 4, 0, 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1, 0. So if we count this up, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 21. We have 21 scores here. So our N is equal to 21, okay, which is what we're going to need to calculate our mean. So we'll need to sum up all of the x's, all the values, and put them over 21. If we sum up all these values, we should get something like 42 over 21, which gives us a mean of 2. All right, let's go ahead and try for the median. So let's figure out what position we're looking for. For the median, we could take n plus 1 over 2, gives us 21 over 2, 22 over 2. So we're looking for the 11th position. Okay, so I'm going to write a little small here, but I'll just show you what we want to do here again. We can treat this like a frequency table, and let's say our lowest value is 0. So let's start there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. If we go to ones, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. And twos, 1, 2, 3. Looks like we have about 3. And then let's go ahead and consider the median position. So if we label the position of each of these numbers, we have, right, in the order of the data set, 11, this is the position we're looking for. Okay, so in this case, our median would be equal to 2. Okay, and then for our mode, we just need to do a little bit of counting, right? So we have 5 zeros, 5 ones, 3 twos, and we have 1, 2 threes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fours. Then we only have 1 5. So we have 5. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros and 5 ones. So what do we do? Well, all of them are the most frequently occurring. So we would consider each of these values to be a mode for this data set, okay? So you'd write all of them out. Then the very last question we do is question number 5 on this homework, and it asks if a data set has outliers, which measure of central tendency is influenced the most. Okay, so this isn't something that we necessarily directly stated in our lecture on this topic, but we should be able to think about it a little bit, right? If we have an extreme outlier and the data set it doesn't necessarily influence or pull the median, but doesn't really influence the mode either, because the mode needs a number of scores to be considered a measure of central tendency. However, the mean, so the answer to the question is the mean, right? Because the mean includes every x value as part of the calculation. So it's right here in the formula. If we had, say, in this data set, let's just pretend that we have one more value in this data set, and it's this huge number, 2,345. Okay, at the end of all these scores, right, maybe someone misunderstood the scale and included this as their score. This would drive up the mean significantly. right? The mean would get much larger, but the position of the median would only maybe shift by 1. In fact, the median would still be, to the mode would still be 0, 1, and 4, so the mean gets bullied around the most. I like to say it gets bullied by the other scores because those scores are included in its calculation. Okay, and yeah, and that's it. That concludes our review of homework number 4. As always, please be in touch if you have any questions on this.